Hey guys, DMS3TV here. Today I have with me from Massdrop the Sennheiser PC-37X. Now this is a little bit different from what I normally do. Why is that? Because this is a gaming headset from Sennheiser. So I guess this kind of qualifies as something that would suit our audio needs for those of us who are gamers like myself. Now, first off, before I get too deep into this, I want you guys to keep in mind this is a gaming headset. Like I said, this isn't designed to be like an audiophile pair of headphones. This is designed for playing games on a PC, on an Xbox, on whatever your choice is. So with that in mind, let's move forward. First with build. Now these aren't mind-blowing as far as build is concerned. They do feel relatively durable. I mean, areas like this right here I see as a point of weakness. This bends a little bit too easy for my comfort. But the headband seems pretty solid. It doesn't seem like it's going to snap. You can tell the top pad right here is held on with some kind of adhesive instead of just snapping on. Now these are the same pads that fit on like the, I believe the 598s. They come on and off with the same clip-on off mechanism for the ears, and they are velour pads just like the top is. Now these are very comfortable. This actually feels almost identical to the 598 when I'm wearing it. It's virtually indistinguishable, aside from of course the 598s I was using have less clamp pressure because they're more worn in. But these feel pretty much just like a 598 when you're wearing them. Now of course there are some differences. The 598s are a little bit more open. Now these are actually open back headphones. I don't know if you can see right here, but this is actually completely open right here with this metal grill. Obviously the 598 is slightly more transparent in that respect, but this means that you're getting good soundstage on your gaming headphones. Now I know in some applications that might be less useful, but I have found this grill does help keep out some outside sound. Now of course I can still hear myself, I can still hear the room around me, things like that. It's not super isolating, but it is more isolating than say 650s or the 598 or something along those lines, and it doesn't leak quite as much either. Now moving on from that, there are a few small features that of course you're not going to find in a normal headset. One being that right here there is a volume control, a little attenuator right there, or I guess potentiometer, and it doesn't move very far. It's relatively easy to move. It doesn't feel super cheap. It doesn't feel super nice either. Just, if I want to turn down the volume for a second, somebody came in and talking to me and you're like, yeah, and then turn it back up. Plain and simple. Nice for very small adjustments. Doesn't seem to have a channel imbalance at any point when I'm adjusting it up or down, which is nice. And it doesn't turn all the way down to 0. It just kind of mutes things a little bit in the background, like muffles them, so you can turn it all the way down. You can still hear everything in the game, but it's just significantly quieter. So this is more like a dimmer. And now on this, which you can probably hear when I flick this, this has a switch in it on the microphone. So when it is flipped down, the microphone is active and I can talk into it. This little piece is adjustable right here, just barely, not a whole lot. There's a little bit of room for adjustment. And you can move it relatively far up and down. I mean, mic positioning hasn't been an issue, but when you flip it up and you hear that click, the microphone is muted, which is very nice. I found I was actually using this at the office a little bit while talking to some people on Discord. I'd be talking and then I'd get a phone call or something and I'd have to, just like that, I've got my mic up and then I can turn down my volume and use it in the room however I need to. Or if I want to talk about something I don't want to say online to a friend or something like that, I'm talking to someone else in the room and it's a separate conversation, I can just flip up, talk, flip back down, and since these are open back, I can still hear the room around me pretty well. So, with all of that said, how is the sound? And how is the microphone? Microphone I'm going to cover in just a second. The sound is very similar to the 598. These do sound a little bit more closed than the 598, I will say. And I think the 598 is built a little bit better. But these are, in the same way the 598 was, these are mid-forward. So bass is there, it's not extremely punchy. Treble is there, but it's not extremely sharp. But overall, the sound is clear. It's not, super grainy or anything like that. It sounds a lot like the mid-forward 598, which might sound odd at first for a gaming headset, but the surround in these is very, very good. I mean, it's not, mind-blowing, but you could game on these just fine and be able to pinpoint where people are around you and where sounds are coming from with very little effort. Now, with that being said, soundstage is better on the 598, but of course there are downsides to the 598. The 598 doesn't have this volume control. The 598 doesn't have this built-in microphone that mutes when you flip it up, things like that. I mean, obviously those are for two different markets. Now, that being said, you could just use the 598 with a USB microphone or a mod mic or, you know, some other solution. And that really comes down to your preference. I personally like it if I'm doing, you know, gaming and stuff. It's nice to have just an all-in-one I can just plug up and go and not have to worry about setting up any extra equipment. Now that depends on what I'm doing too. I mean, you know, if I'm on the go, this is something useful. Sometimes if I'm at home, I'd prefer to use my big mic if I'm streaming or something like that. But most of the time, it's just nice to have something simple like this. So just all-in-one with two 3.5 plugs. One will go into your headphone jack, one will go into your microphone input on your computer, or if you're using something like, you know, an adapter or something like that. So, I mean, a lot of those things come down to preference. Overall, though, on Massdrop, this is $120, and for that price, you're getting something that sounds about as good as the 598, which is a $150 set of headphones, and I think that that is a pretty decent deal. But really, that comes down to your preference. So, how does the microphone sound? Well, check this out. I've got a clip right here where I'm using the microphone, so you can see exactly what it sounds like. So guys, this is the microphone on the Sennheiser PC-37X. This is actually a pretty decent microphone for a gaming headset. This thing left me very, very surprised. So I'm going to take this moment to talk about the cable. Now, the cable itself is terminated to two 3.5mm connectors, TRS, one for the headphones themselves and the other for the microphone. Now, the other end of this very lengthy braided cable is 2.5mm. I don't know if this removable cable is compatible with other standard 2.5s, but at least it is removable, so you could replace it if something happens to it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been the Sennheiser PC-37X from Massdrop. I've got another Massdrop video coming out in the near future of the AKG K7XX and then the Fostex THX00 Purple Hearts. So stick around for those. Those are both coming out this week. And then in the very near future, I have a big IEM roundup. Tons and tons of affordable IEMs for you guys to choose from. So just not necessarily a review, but kind of a guide so you can kind of find, you know, you say you like something that's warm more, say you want something that's going to be, you know, more aimed towards like comfort, things like that. That is my goal there. So stick around, stay subscribed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.